Hey everyone, finished watching the next Dino Thunder episode, Burning at Both Ends, and I didn't care for this episode. Big shock, I know. So, Tommy's still stuck in his morphed form, and the White Ranger is attacking the city. Trent's back to not being able to control his powers again, I guess. And he even has his evil, deep voice back. He captures a couple of the Zords and holds them captive in a force field that he can just do, I guess, now. Okay. The next day, Trent approaches Connor and threatens him. Connor morphs to defend himself. They blast each other and both fall down. Zeltrax shows up with a new monster and orders it to zap the White Ranger. The White Ranger demorphs and Zeltrax disappears along with his companion. Connor asks Trent if he's okay, and Trent responds that he feels like himself, and the next day, Principal Randall comes up to Ethan and Kira and acts really weird at them and evil, and doesn't even try to hide that she's Elsa, but they're still really stupid and don't realize it, and I am so sick of this bit. This whole scene is only here to establish that the school isn't concerned with Tommy that much because he called in sick. I don't know why they thought we needed to have that established when there's all this other stuff that doesn't make any sense coming up later in the episode. Connor calls the other Rangers over to talk to Trent. Trent tells the others that he'll return their Zords. At the island fortress, Mesogog is conspiring with the White Ranger? Okay, that's weird. How is Trent at school and also the White Ranger here? Or is this Trent? Suspicious. Trent reveals to the Rangers a gift, a tacky four-wheeler. Alright. Anyway, Trent turns out to be evil, actually. Trent has his own tacky four-wheeler as a getaway vehicle. The Rangers are held off by the monster and an army of Tyrannodrones while Tommy tries to control his four-wheeler. The monster damages their raptor cycles and leaves. Okay. And the White Ranger follows. What is this weird thing happening in Dino Thunder where the monsters attack and then just leave? That's happening a lot lately, and I don't get it. The Rangers go to the base and they make a plan that relies a lot on assumptions that happen to be right. Like, their plan kinda sorta works, but they take the monster to the force field holding their Zords, theorizing that he could break it. Trent destroys the monster and detonates something. The force field is disabled and the Zords are free, but now the White Ranger controls them. Trent gets his Megazord, combines with the new Zords he's stolen, fights with the Rangers for a while, the monster grows, and Trent immediately destroys it. That was useful. Oh, and then the White Ranger just leaves. Because that's a theme in Dino Thunder, is the bad guys just randomly giving up and leaving. At the base, Haley fixes the raptor cycles. Why were they damaged in the first place? What was the point of all this? They're not even upgraded or anything. I thought the reason for this would be like, oh, they don't have their raptor cycles anymore. They have to get new and improved vehicles, but nope. They're just fixed now. Mesogog yells at Elsa and Zeltrax. They leave. Mesogog turns into Anton Mercer. He calmly walks away, and the camera pans over to Trent, who gradually becomes visible and walks off smirking. This was certainly an episode. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I don't understand most of what's going on. The White Ranger can create a force field now. How? Is this a power that he has? Why hasn't he used it before? Does he ever use it again? I don't know. Apparently, the evil White Ranger has taken nearly complete control of Trent and can even manipulate him when he's unmorphed. And that's kind of a cool idea, that the evil White Ranger is progressively taking over Trent's body. It's something that was, like, vaguely implied, like, earlier on, but only now is really coming to light, and that's a cool thing. I kind of like that idea. Zeltrax's monster zaps Trent, but Trent was only pretending to have been affected by it so he could lure the Rangers into an ambush. So why do the Rangers assume that the monster had any kind of ability to break the force field? As far as they know, the zapping power the monster has is just for show. Okay, after rewatching this thing a million zillion times, I was able to pick up Haley does give some technobabble nonsense about the monster's zapping laser ability. She says the monster's lasers broke through the Ranger's energy fields, whatever those are, I don't know what this is referring to. Him blasting the cycles? Are they the energy fields? Do they emanate energy fields? And it's weird because only Connor is shown being blasted off his cycle. Ethan and Kira, they're blasted like in front and then they just crash. Like they never take a laser blast directly. So what's all this nonsense about the monster breaking through energy fields? I don't know what this is. Is this something that got cut and then left in the episode? The whole plan that they make hinges on this thing that we never see happen. Principal Randall is transparently evil, but the Rangers still don't realize she's also yada yada yada. I don't care anymore. The four-wheelers make their infamous debut, and I'm not a fan. They just come off as silly, kind of like Zane and Vipra's go-karts. The Raptor cycles are damaged, and then immediately repaired. I don't get it. They're not even upgraded. What was the point of them being damaged in the first place? That's what makes me think that must be there was some kind of idea about the cycles have the energy field around them, and that's where the whole garbage with Haley talking about energy fields comes from later, but they don't make that clear at all. And it's weird because they kind of make a big deal of the cycles being damaged, only for Haley later to say, oh, they've been fixed. Communication in this episode is really bad. It is so difficult to pick up anything this episode is trying to communicate. Like, the whole Rangers plan. I'm guessing most fans, when they watch this episode, or most episodes, they're not really thinking about the technical things, but this is the thing that bothers me with Dino Thunder is for the first 11 seasons, or at least until Wild Force, when they had technobabble nonsense, it was mostly only in the first couple of seasons. After that, there was usually some logic or reason behind whatever, like, sci-fi tech they're talking about or fantasy idea. It was only in Ninja Storm where they started to, like, just randomly throw out a bunch of fantasy sci-fi nonsense to explain away things, and then Dino Thunder makes it, like, far worse with Haley being there, because her whole role is just to spout technobabble nonsense, and I'm sick of it. One of the things here that reminds me a lot of Ninja Storm is Mesagog's secret identity. They've blatantly made it obvious to the audience who Mesagog is and who Mercer is. They spent so much time building up clues and things just to have him transform right on screen. They don't even have it happen in silhouette or something. It's just, he transforms. Mesagog is Mercer. And it doesn't really come as a big wow or anything because of the way they've, like, portrayed him so far. We know that there's an Invisiportal in his house. We know that he's kind of distant. We know that he's worked with Tommy in the past and that he was somewhere on the island when the big explosion happened at the beginning. So him being Mesagog is just kind of a natural conclusion. They've made this clear to the audience. What about the characters? Are the characters going to figure this out? Will they have any clues to help them figure out that Mesagog and Mercer are the same person? Or will they just see him transform in front of them, or will someone just tell them? Because that's what happened in Ninja Storm with the Thunder Rangers. They built up, like, so much mystery around the Thunder Rangers for the characters, not the audience. The audience knows right from the beginning Hunter and Blake are the Thunder Rangers. They don't do a good job of keeping it secret. Like, at the very beginning, they do just show up morphed and you don't know who they are, but then as soon as Hunter and Blake show up, they make it dead obvious, yeah, that's who they are. And then for the Rangers, they keep them completely in the dark. They don't get any clues about who the Thunder Rangers are, and then it gets to the point where they need to know who they are. So the writers just gave up and were like, they demorph in front of them for no reason, really. And I'm hoping Mesagog isn't the same way, where they just give up and reveal him to the Rangers. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this episode. I'm getting sick of the evil White Ranger stuff. You know, this has happened the last couple of seasons. In Ninja Storm, I got kind of sick of the Thunder Rangers being evil for so long, and then when they're finally good guys again, I got sick of them. Like, just join the team already. I'm tired of waiting. Just finish the team. And then in Wild Force, Merrick, I got tired of Merrick's story after a while. And it's weird, because no other previous season have I gotten tired of the 6th Ranger reveals, introductions, whatever. back in Time Force, Eric's one of my favorite characters. I love the episodes with him. I love that they establish him as a character long before he actually becomes a ranger. In Lightspeed Rescue, I love the reveal of Ryan. I thought the whole Titanium Ranger storyline was done really, really well. It's one of the best introductions of a sixth ranger in Power Rangers history. With Lost Galaxy, the Magna Defender is a fascinating character. I love that he exists outside the Rangers. He's not really an ally, but he's not necessarily an enemy. He's just got his own goals that are separate from the Rangers and his own way of doing things. But the last batch of seasons, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, I'm just tired of the Sixth Rangers. Maybe it's because they introduced them as evil and they just drag it on for so long. With Ryan, they didn't drag it out this long. He's introduced, he's evil, he's misguided. They lay out who he is, why he thinks what he does, and then when he realizes what's really going on, he becomes a good guy, he joins the Rangers against the bad guys, and then he disappears, and that kind of sucked, but everything up till that point was really good. So anyway, yeah, I'm just tired of the evil White Ranger stuff. I want Trent to become a good guy, join the Rangers already. Oh, and there's an interesting little thing in this episode. When Trent approaches Connor and challenges him to a fight, he, talks, and his body language, it's just like Mikoto from Abaranger, and that's pretty cool. I like to think that Jeffrey Perazzo, who plays Trent, must have seen Abaranger and thought, hey, that's a good idea. I should try something like that. And it is a cool scene, and I like it, but it doesn't really fit Trent. I don't know. I think the evil White Ranger thing works better when he's morphed, because when he's unmorphed, Jeffrey Perazzo is just too nice looking of a guy, I guess. Trent's one of my favorite characters in Dino Thunder, at least from what I remember. I remember being younger and really liking him as a character, so that's one of the reasons I want this evil White Ranger thing to just be over with, have him join the team, and we can move on. Disappointing episode. And I'm really hoping that I don't keep saying over and over again with every episode now, this is the new worst episode. But this one, it's not really the worst episode, but it's definitely the most frustrating so far. So many fans love Dino Thunder and keep telling me it's the best, and but I don't get any counter arguments. Why don't I get any counter arguments whenever I complain about Dino Thunder? When I complained about Haley to someone on Twitter, they were how can you not like Haley? She's the mother figure of the season. And so I said what I didn't like, and then I never got any kind of response. Were they just tired of arguing with me, or did they accept it and just not care? Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.